What is going on, guys? It's Nightfall Hero here to give you a rough little guide on my bow Sorc that we use just to farm hell cows and enchant people that are doing Ubers. I'll go over the gear quick first. We're using 5-socketed Doomslinger. You can get away with only using 2. Once you up it once to a Kukurnu, the attack speed breakpoint's only 17, so you can get away with 1 shale. I like to put a Neff in there to like permanently stun lock things. We happen to roll 5 sockets on ours, so I did throw in 3 ist for the magic find bonus. With the multi-shot build, you want to scale as much all skills as possible, so you can get more arrows on your multiple shot. Plus plus boson skills and plus Amazon skills don't count towards this, so you need plus all. So to get the most plus all skills, we're using a Shaco corrupted with just corrupted with 2 shotguns for more magic find. Amaras that we corrupted, ideally you'd want plus 3 skills, but we've corrupted 3 pairs to no avail this season. We've only got plus 2. We're also rocking a Chains of Honor. I like it for the resistance. We're playing hardcore. We only use it to farm cows though, so it's not the biggest deal. You could use Enigma if you wanted a faster run walk and magic find. We're rocking Mage Fist. Ideally you would want life gain on ranged hit, but we rolled all res and just called it good enough. The main thing we use Mage Fist for is the plus the fire skills helps the enchant, and the FCR, I'll show you when we do our weapon swap, gives us 105, so we don't have to worry about when we're tallying hell doing key runs and stuff. We don't have to worry about being too low on FCR. For shield, well, I mean we don't use a shield, but for a quiver, you're looking for pierce chance. So ideally with this build, I like to get as close to 100 as possible. So ideally you would want like 24% pierce chance to get exactly 100. Right now we're at 96, but I did find a better pair of bolts this season, but they didn't roll dual magic find. So most important stat on here is going to be pierce chance. A nice additional stat would be plus all skills. It's really a really rare mod. The one I gave away to some viewer in chat a while ago is 23% pierce chance with plus 1 all skills and one magic find roll. I like magic find with this build when I'm doing cows, so I just kept this one. But you could get an additional plus 1 all skills right here. We are using War Travelers for additional MF. I do like Silk Weaves more, just for survivability purposes and not running out of mana. We don't have mana problems, but when you get hit, we do use Energy Shield just a little bit, so always having full mana with Silk Weaves is nice, but I prefer War Travelers. You want a corrupted Razor Tail with additional pierce chance, 41% is what you can corrupt it to get. Either 2 SOJs or 2 BK rings. Ideally, probably SOJs are better, but I found 3 of them this season and sold them. We also are rocking 1 10 FCR Ravenfrost, so we cannot be frozen. For when we're telling, we need 10 FCR, and I don't like to be frozen, so we're using a Ravenfrost. Although when we enchant, we do switch to dual Bukathos for plus 1 skills. It does make a big difference. I'll show you guys in just a sec. So you can see the damage on the bow itself is not really that much. It's only 400, but when we switch to our, we're just using a 40 FCR. Any weapon would work, a Hado or whatever. We're using a Eschuta's Temper. The percent fire damage does help a little bit. It's like 1/3 of the effectiveness though. It just affects the additional enchant. So, and then we're using a Spirit Monarch, 35% to help hit our breakpoint. So when we enchant, we do have, well, 46 enchant right now. Did switch my rings right? No, 47 enchant. You could get 48 with an Arachnid's belt, but I don't know. We one-shot cows as it is, so I like running 96% pierce chance with a Razor Tail. So as you can see, when we dual enchant, we do go up to 60k. I will rejoin this game real quick to show you just that one skill does make a difference. Before I had Infinity on my mark, I couldn't one-shot cows with without swapping the ring. So I'll show you guys quick. It's 56k. So that one difference adds like 4k. Then we're at 60k, and then when we swap over to our bow, it's 54k. And then I always rock around with my Ravenfrost on. So that's the gear. For charms wise, we just got 9 fire skillers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 fire skillers, some with life. So we're playing hardcore, so I've died a few times trying to make this build guide, so I have actually bought 28 fire skillers this season. The nice thing about fire skillers is they're only about a nuke each. The life ones you pay a little more for, but that's one nice thing about this guild. It can be pretty budget friendly. And then we're just using some life charms, and I haven't replaced some of these old like resistance ones. But like I don't need this life charm or lightning charm, even though I'm in hell. I am capped out, but I could add more life, but we're good as is. We just started farming Annies on our dual dreamer, so we got an Annie now and a Sorc torch. So that's it for our charms. I will show you guys a cowl run real quick. So let me rejoin the game just so show you guys how fast it is. So I already got the leg. One thing to note is getting the leg can be kind of troublesome before you have infinity, because the guys are fire immune guarding it, but that's still, you just like shoot them twice and they all get frozen and run in. Actually, I didn't enchant. One thing to note about enchant is it only lasts 3 minutes, so you gotta rebuff. But luckily, most of the time we do cows in less than 3 minutes in hell, so I just use, like I said, I just use this to farm keys, buff Ubers, and farm cows. That's what it really excels at. You can do other stuff with it, but other characters are better at that kind of stuff. So we're just gonna do a quick cowl run showing you guys how the build works. Most things die all in one shot, even without infinity. Here, I'll show you guys actually. I'll take off the infinity. Like I said, we just switched to infinity this week. We were running without it. You don't need it. It is nice for doing, when you go get the leg, you can break fire immunes. The little carvers and stuff, but it's definitely not needed. Trash cows die in one shot anyways, as long as you hit them. And the one nice thing about this build compared to like a bow paladin is it's got a shiz ton of attack rating from the enchant, so that's nice. But there's a Geeds. Kind of funny we don't need one. Maybe I'll give it away after this video. I'll come back and get it. I got one in my stash that I'm not using. Now that I have infinity though, I can't swap out fire charm. Before, I could still one shot without one fire skill before I had infinity, but it was inconsistent. Sometimes it would one shot and sometimes it wouldn't. So I liked running all fire skillers. Without Geeds, we are running 320 magic fight, so it's not like it's needed, but it is nice. It is nice. So I mean, this is how cows work. It's pretty easy. And with the 105 FCR, you can easily farm any keys in the game. I do normal nightmare rushes. I do some hell rushes. I switch to my paladin to do trav or chaos. It's just too bothersome. But overall, the build's pretty safe. One nice thing is when you're playing in groups with the refrigerate buff. Like perma stuns everything with the Nephrune and the cold damage. So it's really good CC. Like those ones didn't die at all in one hit. They kind of just get locked and knocked back. So it's a really safe build. Alternatively, you can teleport, although I'd be careful teleporting with your crossbow. But if you are teleporting, shoot into your bolts so you have cover. Because if you get stuck in the frames, it's going to be pretty bad. So our Merc's got the cold damage buff, so he should be alright. So about a 3-minute cowl run there. So when I do make a new game and I haven't got the leg yet, I do like to buff with my Ravenfrost when I go in, and then when I go in cows, I switch to my Bukathos and buff. I will show you a couple amulets that you can also use if you can't afford like Amaras or Chains of Honor. I'll make like a more detailed build guide on budget gear, but like just some amulets I found that you guys can use as a Seraph's Hymn amulet is also +2 all skills. The most important thing is the all skills on all this. Especially at lower levels, I switched to this build at level 40. It's really good for tellying. I started tellying Nightmare Bellrounds at 45. I respected to enchant with my crossbow. And I maxed warmth and enchant, and I was doing like 8k damage. But it was mostly just for like the warmth. It really helps with teleport. I wasn't running out of mana with max warmth. Some budget amulets you can use that are +1 all skills, or this Eye of Eldritch at level 15. Telling of Beads is +1 all skills, and it's got some decent resistances. You can also use like High Lords if you want, but one of the best would either be Amara's or Seraph's Hymn Corrupted with +3 all skills, but we haven't got one yet. And I will show you guys a key run real quick. We'll start with the Halls of Pain, I guess. I do like to switch to Nature's Peace for doing this boss, just so we don't get corpse exploded or anything crazy. So once you learn the layouts, they're pretty much all the same for this zone at least. So one, not this way, not that way, this way. Alright. The one nice thing is there's not usually any fire immunes when you do this run. He can sometimes be fire immune, but it looks like Infinity breaks this. I've never done these runs with Infinity before, so that's nice to know. So that was Nilithak. Usually I can do all these in less than 10 minutes, so we don't need the Nature's Peace no more. We're going to put back on our one Bukathos. We'll run to Arcane real quick. And when you can also use this build just to enchant your friends for doing Ubers. It kind of makes it face roll. Even like on my barb, if I use a one-handed death and a storm shield, my damage is like 25k with enchant. Or if you use the Breath of the Dying, I think my friend said he was up to like 35k. I don't remember. Maybe I can ask someone at the end of the video to come in and I can enchant them. But I've enchanted a couple people's for Ubers before. It makes them pretty face roll. Even declone is pretty easy with enchant. So there's the summoner. Nothing's really fire immune there. Although I'll show you guys real quick. It's not that big of a deal, but there is, if you do not have Infinity yet, these Moon Clans are fire immune, but your Merc can kill them pretty easy, and there's not too many usually guarding the summoner. And then I've never done the Countess yet since I've got Infinity either, so I don't know what's going to be immune. But usually the Countess is immune to fire and cold. So you just teleport there real quick and let your Merc kill her, because you do fire and cold damage, mostly fire. I think we do a 2.5k cold damage, but the nice thing about the cold buff is the ignore target's defense is 23% per hit. Really nice if you enchant your friends to do Ubers or something. That's really nice. Or if you're fighting a stronger mob. Alright, so I feel like most of the time Countess is usually this way, like to the right. But not always, not always. Hopefully we get lucky on this run and I don't embarrass myself too much. This is a weird layout. Like I said, this is my first time running with my Merc. I usually just had the Insight. I just swapped to this like this week and used it to farm cows. I haven't done key runs yet. I will show you my Merc's gear in a little bit too after this kill. He's using Infinity and then Steel Shade and a Stone. I do have a fort for him, but I didn't put it on. I did want to show that on the video, that nice budget armor. So the Countess is still immune to fire and cold, but as you can see, your Merc can kill him fairly easy. They just tell you to him. All the people guarding the Summoness are just lightning immune. You don't gotta worry about them, they all die quick. So there was a key run. This is what I usually run with on my Sorc. And I enchant people for Ubers. My Merc was rocking this Leviathan armor before. It's a really good starter armor. I bought it for a nuke. If you corrupt it with 4 sockets, it'd probably be pretty nasty. But we did make him a Duress. I really like this armor. It's a really nice budget armor I've been using this season. It's just an Unrune. And it's got Crushing Blow and Open Wounds, so it's pretty nice. I do have a fort, but for the sake of this video, I didn't want to gear him out too much, even though he's pretty fucking OP. But this is a good budget armor you could use early on in the season before you switch to a fort. Then we got a 1-socketed Steel Shade I corrupted. And I just threw a random melee splash in. With the 100 life gate on melee, it's really nice for keeping him alive. And then either an Infinity, like endgame, I guess it works nice for farming keys, is the biggest difference that I noticed. And then it does help in cows, but you one-shot without it anyways once you get all the gear. when you're doing rushes and stuff, it's probably better just to throw on an insight. So that's a quick overview of the guide. It took us 9 minutes to go over everything. I will include a guide later on with some additional gear you can enroll. I wonder if anyone's on. Drev, here. Drev. I'll show you guys what the enchant does to somebody else. Can you join? More. 1-1. Quick. With Barb. Wanna test enchant. So I'll show you what it does for him. We're gonna have to take his word on it, but he's a trustworthy guy. Just to show you, it does really help with Ubers. Another streamer, Dad UJ, was doing declone, and he was doing declone really fast. But like when I enchanted him, I know he did one run in less than like 17 seconds. It was pretty insane. After this bail run, all right, I'll probably edit it out and show him when I'm done enchanting him. But that's a quick. I guess I'll show you my skills real quick. So like I said, I respect at level 40. So I could teleport 9 bail runs because I am a sorceress and we didn't like walking. So I started I think at like level 45. I put 1 point in teleport, 1 point in refrigerate and cold mastery and shiver armor, and then I maxed warmth, enchant, put 1 point in fire mastery, and I was doing like 8k damage at level 45. So I could kill stuff pretty easily, but it was mostly just for the warmth. Teleport really helped. I also did throw 1 point in Hydra if you're doing like bossing or something, like doing battle runs or chaos runs. It's like a 1 point wonder skill. With 1 point in it, it does 5,000 damage per fireball. So if like Diablo is about to spawn, you can throw down some Hydras. I've never used it, but I did stick a point in it. I thought it was kind of cool. 5k damage. Once we I would max all 3 of the fire skills first. All your damage comes from the fire. Then I would max refrigerate, especially if you're gonna be enchanting your friends for Ubers. The minus defense, nice. And then I started maxing cold mastery last. Alternatively, you can start maxing shiver armor, but I was having problems with it before on one of my old characters where I maxed shiver armor, and if I was Tellian Nightmare or even sometimes doing like Hell Mephisto, my shiver armor would one-shot dolls and almost kill me. So like if you're telling Mephisto or doing anything with dolls, I always take my merc weapon off. Although it doesn't help if you already enchant him. But you want to take his weapon off so he doesn't kill shit. But he does 18k damage. I guess we can show the enchant that way. He does 18k damage with no weapon. So when you are telling him, make sure you take his weapon off and he's not enchanted. But if you max shiver armor, you can kill yourself from dolls. So you gotta watch out for that. So this time I did refrigerate. And I stuck some points in cold mastery. It's only level 20 right now. Looks like I got 2 points in there. Yeah. I will show you. I'll roll join real quick. How much damage the cold does. It's really negligible. It's just for the ignore targets defense or reduce enemy defense. So yeah, it does 2.5k and then 60k with the fire. Act 1 for enchant. See how much damage goes up. Okay, he's a full Immortal King's Barb. Let's roll in now. So we'll see if it's kind of like our Merc. His damage goes up from 2k to 19k. And then I guess he booed me, so that'll help too. It added 5k. That one skill added 4k damage. Kind of insane. Every point counts. What's your damage? What's your damage, not mine? $22k. What's it usually? So there's a quick override of the view of the gear of our Sorc. Normal attack, 23k whirlwind. Like I said, once you get it all running, it's really good cop armor. It's really fun. Usually I use a Javislon. I did the last 2 seasons, but I'm having a lot of fun with this Sorc. And you can farm keys and do normal night rushes for your friends. And we are capped in resistance, is what's nice. I think if you wanted to, you could do an ES build of this. You just wouldn't max refrigerate right away. You would do 1 point at first in both, all synergies, and then max telekinesis, and then put the rest in refrigerate. Almost 20k more DPS. Yeah. Yeah, he's a full Immortal King's Barb, and he got like almost a 20k damage increase from it. It is a little bit reduced on players, but if they got a 63k enchant, it'd be pretty overpowered. So that's a quick overview of the build guide. I will make a post to go with it and try to show you some budget gear. It's like a quick budget gear guide. So you do need a Doomslinger. You could get away with 1 Socket with just a Shell, 2 Sockets, Shell Neff. Probably the best. And then you can also use PM with this instead of IST for attack rating helps. Shaco, Nightwings, 3 Socketed would be alright. Or just Nightwings in general. It's also 2 all skills. You could do a lore. Armor wise, the best budget armor that's 2 skills would probably be an Arcanine's Valor. You could also get 1 corrupted 4 sockets if you wanted to run some Magic Find. Scalders is +1, and Vamp Magi is also +1. Are some good budget armors until you can afford to make Chains of Armor or Enigma. Enigma would be better for college just because I like to run around. I don't like to teleport. It's kind of dangerous, especially with a crossbow. You don't have a shield. So if you're magic finding, Enigma would probably be pretty good too, although I just like having capped res in hardcore. Mage Fist, you don't really need a budget version of. Boots, you could just run Silk Weaves or any kind of boots. Razor Tail's not too expensive. Raven Frost with a... So what I was doing before was a 10 FCR ring swap. Just a random one. I might have gave it away before I did get the 10 FCR Raven. When I was teleporting, I just swapped to that to hit the 105. But that's a quick little overview. Hope you guys did enjoy the build guide. It is my first, so sorry if it's a little rough, but there's my first ever build guide. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below or on the Reddit post. As always, guys, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, stay safe. Good luck farming in Path of Diablo. Have fun. Peace out. Until next time, stay safe. I love you all. Peace.